The case Vani actually is being spearheaded by Jared. And what Jared did was to bring all of us together, the NGOs and civil society together, and we now form a coalition, right? It's a coalition on the Guppy issue, and we are all trying to make sure that we are not only giving support to her team, but also raising money so that we can go to court. You know, as Vani has said, she's been declared a bankrupt, and we've discovered that if you're a bankrupt, you can't apparently file in the federal court, so she has to put a deposit of 5,000. Well, all those are technical details. We are definitely raising the money and making sure the case goes on. I'm sure they both, Dr. Kaur and Shanti, may want to comment about this case later, but Katrina, thanks for offering the idea that we must bring the voices of women here. Because the case is not only tentang umur, tetapi lain-lain issue juga. You know, quality, hak-hak pekerja wanita juga. You know, there's many other cases, the quality of work, getting, 10 cents per day, where's the minimum wage issues. There's so many issues in one story of a woman who is going through a case on diskriminasi tentang umur, tapi ada hak-hak yang lain juga yang terlibat. Yeah? Our next voice is from Nisha Ayo. Come on, Nisha.
Morning. So my name is Nisha again, Nisha Ayub. I'm from PT Foundation and I manage a transgender program there. So actually there's so many points there, so basically I combine everything in one part. Okay, so bear with me. Trans people are people who assign gender, are not assigned consistent with his or herself, and lives as identifies as opposite gender. Status as trans woman is contingent on gender identity, not surgery. The trans woman community, otherwise known as the male to female transgender, or locally known as Matnya community. Article 8 of the Federal Constitution, among others, provides that there should not be discrimination on the basis of gender. However, the trans people in Malaysia have suffered many forms of discrimination and violence perpetrated by state and non-state actors. In Malaysia, trans people are not recognized under the law. While Article 8, Clause 2 somewhat says that discrimination based on gender is prohibited, many people, especially state actors, subscribe to a very rigid definition on gender, which is only limited to men or women. Recently, two ministers, Jamil Khair Baharum and Nazri, at the Prime Minister office, claimed that LGBT individuals are unconstitutionalized. The trans people community, even before the statement by the two ministers, has faced discrimination and violence by the state actors. Firstly, in 1983, the National Fatwa Council issued a religious edict of fatwa to ban sex reassignment surgery, or we know as SRS, for Muslims. Prior to the fatwa on sex reassignment surgery, or SRS, was performed by local doctors in universities here in Malaysia. Following the fatwa, although the fatwa only applied for Muslims, the services were shut down, making it impossible for non-Muslim trans women to do their SRS or sex reassignment surgery locally, thus denying our rights to health. The ban of SRS or sex reassignment surgery did not only shut down the services for trans people, but also has subsequently impacts, amongst others, changing our names in our ID card. So SRS somehow does not have impact on the way trans people are identified in this country. Post-operative trans people are still not allowed to change our names, gender, and the last digit in our ID card. Soon after the ban, the National Registration Department adopted an unwritten policy to disallow trans people from changing their names in their ID card. Again, it's an unwritten policy and it has been inconsistent. Sometimes trans people are allowed to change their names and sometimes not. However, in 2005, a trans woman challenged the National Registration Department policy to change her name, gender and last digit in her ID card, at birth certificate to reflect her reassigned gender. Justice Jane Fong set precedence by instructing the National Registration Department to change the items to be consistent with her reassigned gender, as he believes, according to Article 5, Clause 1, of the Federal Constitution, no person should be deprived of his or her life or personal liberty save in accordance with the law. However, when the late Alisha Farhana, which is my close friend actually, filed for an application to change her name and gender identity card, she was not allowed to do so. The judge felt that if the court allowed a name to be changed, we fear it might have impact to the society. And sadly to say, facing all the discrimination and all the stigma and with all the negative impact that she and her family faced, she passed away. It is important to state that she wanted to change her name as she was planning to pursue higher education in university. And she did not want to complicate the process with a name and gender that does not reflect her current identity. Thus, the state denied her right to recognition before the law, right to education, right to effective redress and remedies. There are many laws do not protect trans people in the country. For instance, the rape laws. The rape law does not protect post-operative trans people as they believe post-operative trans women are not real women. I repeat, real women, as they have artificially constructed vaginas, or implants too. Many trans women too do not respond cases of abuse and violence, as they fear of being ridiculed by the authority or face further abuse by the state officials. Many cases of abuse and violence are also perpetrated by state authorities. There are many cases of trans people who go to police station to bail their friends who then are arrested because of their gender identity. Many trans women face humiliating and degrading treatments in prison. Trans women are usually placed in their male lockups and asked to strip down. They then asked to parade and walk around the cells so they can be grouped and touched by inmates and wardens. And I'm saying this based on my own experience. I was in jail when I was 21 years old, and I was sentenced to 3 months in prison in Kajang. I was basically, that was my first time experience sex, forced sex actually with the inmates, because when you are in jail, imagine someone going in with breasts and so on in the male's ward, in the male cell. So yeah, I'm here to say that I'm an example of the person. Many trans people always trapped in vicious cycle. As young trans people who show signs of non-conformity are usually punished as young children. In schools, many gender non-conforming children are punished and ridiculed. Case in point, the pursuit camp, where 66 effeminate children were selected to attend a boot camp to make them masculine. Ataupun in a local term, to make, nak jantankan mereka. As a result, many trans people leave home at young age without finishing their education. Without proper education and certification, one is unable to find employment. Being a trans person adds to the problem too. Many employers do not hire trans people. Many transgender are often rejected employment on the basis of their gender identity. Also, many trans people have been stereotyped as ma'andam, makeup artists, sales girls, performers, and sex workers, making it difficult for other trans women to find other employment. The sex worker stereotype is the first of all. Even professional trans women most of the time are assumed to be sex workers and are often harassed. Without education and difficulties in seeking employment, most trans women end up becoming sex workers. As sex workers, trans people face so many challenges, from abusing clients to raids by the police department and the police. I myself, as an example, after being put in jail, I lost my job and I had a mom to take care of, and she was a single mom. So therefore, I was in a situation where I had to find income, and therefore I had to be a sex worker. I was a sex worker for 5 years, and trust me, it's not an easy life, and it's not something that you want to be. Giving yourself to a stranger, and I've been beaten up by my clients and so on. If it wasn't because of Pity Foundation that gave me an opportunity to help my community, I wouldn't be here right now. Patriarchy, binary thinking, and lack of sensitivity towards the needs of the trans community are all causes of ill treatment and violation of rights of trans people here in Malaysia. In an environment like Malaysia, where the state is hostile towards LGBT people like us, we often have to rely on international mechanisms to seek justice and equality. The CEDAW is a crucial mechanism for the trans people, as there are no specific UN mechanism to address the issues faced by trans people population. CEDAW's inclusion of trans people allowed us to use this mechanism to bring forward issues of discrimination and violence by state actors and subsequently seeks equality and justice. Thank you.